Alright. Hello, and welcome back to Dark Souls 1. I know it's been a while since we've done this, but I promise we're going to finish this playthrough today. It has been a minute, and I think this is just kind of a problem that I have with myself, is that I have a really bad habit of starting big projects and then just never getting around to finishing them. And that's not very good or healthy, and I'm trying to do better about that, so this is an attempt at that. Oh, that was pretty decent. So you might notice that my armor is not nearly as cool looking as it was last time. Also, I'm in human mode, but don't worry about that. For this area, I've stacked up on as much magic defense as I can get my hands on, because I'm going to need it for the boss encounter. God, I forget how fucking dark it actually is. I can't hardly see shit. Get fucked! No. No, sir. No, not today. Oh, shit! Titanite chunks. So you can actually fight these guys and get Titanite chunks from them that way. Oh man, there's a bunch of stuff over there. And full disclosure, I kind of did a little bit of that off screen. I came down here and I fought these guys for the chunks. But I didn't collect any of these items, because that way I could actually show you what these items are. And I didn't fight the boss, obviously. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, cracked red-eye orbs. Because that's the item that you use to invade with. As a Dark Wraith. Hint, hint. Uh-huh. No. Shit. No. Man, I love this sword. I love this game, too. This game still feels really good to just go back to, eventually. Every once in a while. It's really relevant now. Hello? I hear someone hissing. Someone is having what you might call a hissy fit, if you would. Oh hey, I can see the fog wall from here. And I can see a ghost. Hello, ghost. Please leave me alone. I think she's the one hissing, actually. Man, I didn't know I could just see a ghost from here. I have no idea what arrows I even have equipped right now. There's something kind of mysterious but still beautiful about the ghosts. But, whatever. I'm not gonna mess with her right now. I do have my transient curses on hand so that I can deal with any ghosts that I come across. If I come across any of them. Which I will, so there's that. But I promise to you this today, my friend, we will be finishing this particular playthrough. Okay, now I just have to come over here and... Hup. Aha! I can't see. Is that a guy? Yep, that's a guy. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. I'm not fighting you on that. Are you done? Yeah, you're done. Their special little anime combo is no match for me being able to actually time my button presses better than you. Is this a mimic? I don't think this is a mimic. It is not a mimic. I forget what's in here. I want to say it's pretty decent. Oh, it's a single Titanite chunk. So it's actually not that decent, because you can just get Titanite chunks by fighting these guys. Speaking of which, I might just grab the screenshot later, but you can actually farm these guys, and eventually you might get your hands on a Titanite slab, which is the last item necessary for a thing. Okay, and I'm just going to turn on the transient curse real quick, because, aha! There we go. Man, I can't see shit. I wish I had cast light equipped. Hello? Hello? Oh, hello. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. No. What? Hitboxes, man. They're very weird sometimes. Hello? What do you have for me? Oh, the Dark Hand! I can show that off now. And talk about that. And somewhere in the realm of item descriptions, there is some brief mention of Artorias making some kind of pact with the Dark Wraiths. I don't really know what that's all about. I can't think of where to find the quote off the top of my head. Okay, that's another Titanite chunk. Here comes another ghost lady. This might be the ghost lady from earlier. What? Told you, man. Hitboxes are weird sometimes. What do I have equipped? Okay, so I'm going to change those out here in a second. But there is a good reason why I'm human. Hello? Oh, it's over this way. No, 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 no. No, don't do that. No, stop that. Stop it. Stop it. Aha, here we go. Alright, so first I'm going to change this out for this, just so I have as much magic protection as possible. So my magic defense goes from 259 to 309. Okay. Okay, and we're going to grab Witch Beatrice. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Witch Beatrice for this is, for all intents and purposes, not really all that good. Oh, I'm also going to have to change this out for... Where is it? Here we go, the Covenant of Artorias. This ring you need to put on in order to do this boss fight. If you put this ring on and you jump into this boss fight, you will instantaneously die, because that's how that works. Because we are about to go into what is known as the Abyss. Never mind that we were able to fight Manus, the Allfather of the Abyss, in what for all intents and purposes looked like the Abyss, and were able to survive just fine without using the Covenant of Artorias, which allowed him to walk amongst the Abyss, but... shut up. It's one of those things where, like, the logic of the game kind of breaks down after the DLC was released. It's a nice, long spiral staircase. Literally, how far does this go down? Holy shit. I'm not jumping down this whole thing every time. But if I don't, Witch Beatrice won't follow me. Oh my god. This is so dumb. Okay, here we go. Alright, B. Let's go. Now, the Four Kings boss fight is what is known as a DPS race. So, one of the best things you can do is equip your most damaging weapon and equip as much magic defense as possible and just try and tank and spank. He's gonna burst on me. Okay. Oh my god, really? That is so obnoxious. Come on, stop that. Hey, B. Now, the reason it's a DPS race is because over time... Wow, this magic protection is really doing me. Oh god. Over time, as you can see on the right there, another one summoned. Fuck, he's gonna burst on me again. And this is just gonna keep getting worse as things go on. Each one has their own individual health pool, and they will... Fuck! Quit spamming that shit! God damn! I fucking hate this boss fight. This is probably the worst boss fight in the entire game. Okay, I'm just gonna do some of this shit. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Fuck. Okay, got one. Awesome. Where's the other one? Where's the other one? There you are. Come here. How do you like some... Oh, he's... Oh, no, he's not. He's not immune while he's doing the command grab. Fucking sweet. Okay. I'm just gonna do some of this shit. Okay, very nice. Oh, God. Oh, God. So, number one, why it's so bad is because there's no frame of reference. It's really hard to gauge how fucking far away they are from you. Number two, you just kind of have to hope for the best because you can't fucking see them through each other. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, totally worth it, totally worth it. Fuck. Alright, this is the last one. Oh god, cancel out my casting. No. Okay, let's just go. Let's go. Let's go. Did it! Awesome. First try. And as you can see, a fifth one actually spawned. Oh, come on, you bastard. Fuck you! I fucking hate you. I really do. See, like, because there's no frame of reference, shit like that projectile is really fucking hard to gauge. Like, where the fuck is it? It's really hard to tell. Okay, did it. First try. Awesome. Oh, God, I fucking hate that boss fight. I absolutely fucking loathe that boss fight. I despise it. I hate everything about it. Okay. Now, somewhere around here, there it is. Oh, okay. Alright, then. Okay. Wow, I can actually get a level. Something I would like to try and work toward would be getting an extra attunement slot. Having 6 attunement slots would be nice. And that is something that I could work toward, but I'm about to head toward the end of the game. So grinding out for this is going to be kind of impossible. But fuck it. I'll get some defense out of this, so it's not really that big a deal. And I've kind of talked about this before, but I don't remember if I did. But resistance is like a bad stat. It's the useless stat. Because here's the thing. All it does is it gives you defenses, which is cool, but putting points into literally every other stat also does that. Like, literally any of the other stats. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do it like that. And that's just something, that's my next goal for this character, if I ever continue, is just working towards having 6 attunement slots. Like, 5 is enough. 5 will do you. And if I were playing a more pure caster build, I would already have 6 by now, which would be more than I would ever need. Okay, so there's a couple things that need to be discussed. So, if you come here before, let's see here, you have to come here before giving the Lord Vessel over to Kingseeker Frampt. You will meet another primordial serpent known as Kaith, and he basically tells you that Honorlando is a lie, the gods are all fake, nothing you know is real. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. You could probably look up his dialogue, but I don't feel like it, and I knew that this was going to be a playthrough where I would not be able to get all of his dialogue. That's the problem with trying to show content in a game like Dark Souls, is you can't get all of the content. It is borderline impossible to get all of the content. However, I have already seen some hint of the idea that the gods are all fake and all that fun stuff. No, wait, this is not where I want to be, actually. This is not quite where I want to be. This is where I want to be now. Okay, I'm going to temporarily join the Dark Moon Covenant. I say temporarily join because I'm already in it. But I haven't gotten the primary reward from it. And also during some of the off time, let's see, it would be here. I got, where are they? Souvenirs or prizes. I got 10 of those by hanging out in the Painted World of Ariamis. And I'm also going to go ahead and reveal the final, finger quotes, look of the character. Okay, so first and foremost, obviously I want the Crown of Dusk. Crown of Dusk. My Elite Knight Armor. Let's see here. I wonder if Chester's gloves look any good on this. They look okay. But I have gloves that I have come to prefer. More of a style thing, really. Oh wait, here we go. Gauntlets of the Vanquisher. Is there any description on this? Nah, it's just all about Xena and like where Domhall is from. Which is not really a whole lot known about the land of Xena, which is unfortunate. I feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity, really. Oh, wait, it was right above me. Okay, there we go. Alright. This is it. This is the final look of the character. really came to really enjoy the Gloves of the Vanquisher with this overall look because I love like the gigantic golden bangles on the left hand especially, which still look kind of protective to a degree, but they look cool. Okay, so there's not something that will ever benefit my character, but I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Welcome back, Blade of the Dark Moon. If mine power be needst, I shall assist thee.
Alright, cool. Now we're going to turn in all 10 of these. Oh boy. We're going to have to sit through this every fucking time. Oh yeah. Now we're getting into that genuine Dark Souls 1 experience, baby. The pain of having to give one Covenant token at a fucking time. Especially considering that getting all of the shit out of a particular Covenant might sometimes require 30 of them. Or higher. Like, unlocking the shortcut via the Daughters of Chaos requires 30 humanity. And that's a lot, which means this is a process that could take upwards of 5 to 10 minutes. Come on. It is a very pretty effect. It looks very nice with my bangles. But it's really obnoxious that you can't turn in more than one token at a time. It's quite silly. It is one of the bad gameplay choices of Dark Souls 1. Okay, I did it. Awesome. Come to Legion's String, blah, blah, blah. Right, bye. Thanks, Gwen. Alrighty then. Yay, I get to read things again. My favorite part! Dark Moon Talisman. Scales with an A, pretty alright. Requires 24 faith, so it's for your typical faith builds, yeah. Unlike Velka's Talisman, which scales off of your intelligence, which is awesome. I really like that there are those seldom few items that encourage mixing up your build a little bit, even if it's otherwise non-conducive to do so. Like, for example, if you kill Gwen and you get her there, I've been over this. What pronouns you're supposed to use for Gwendolyn is kind of fuzzy and not super comfortable, but whatever. Medium for casting Miracles of the Gods. Granted to Dark Moon Blade Knights adherence to the Covenant of Dark Sun Gwendolyn. This talisman demands dutiful faith from its owner, but has very high miracle adjust. So, let's see, where it says magic adjust. That's like the base number, and then the scaling gives you like your bonus number. So this is something that requires a bit more than testing to like really get a feel for, but basically, when you have a talisman like this is a talisman that's better for early game when your faith is really low because the magic adjust is really high, and it kind of adjusts the output of your spell's power on its own, whereas this is going to be, these two items here would be like if you had higher faith. So these are in-game items. So eventually the scaling and the bonus that you get out of that outweighs the lower magical adjust. Kind of similar to... really? How... let's see here. Well, my point is that Logan's Catalyst was one of them, where, like, using a different catalyst earlier on was better than using Logan's Catalyst, because Logan's Catalyst is one that requires really high intelligence to get the most use out of. Which I eventually burned my way through. But like I was saying a second ago, if you kill Gwendolyn and take their soul, you can make a sorcerer's staff that will actually scale off of your faith. And if you upgrade a Pyromancy Flame all the way to the highest possible upgrade form, the Pyromancy Flame will suddenly gain intelligence scaling. That's kind of to tie it into the lore about how Pyromancy was at one point actually just sorcery, until it was corrupted by the Chaos and sort of bastardized. But also, it's a neat gameplay mechanic. So if you're playing a sorcerer build, specking into some pyromancy is worth looking into if you want, for fun, or just in general, which is cool. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use this awesome spell, even if I wanted to, if I used Velka's Talisman instead. So, it's just gonna have to be what it is. But here we are. Darkmoon Blade. Miracle granted to those by covenant to Gwendolyn, Lord Gwyn's last born. Not according to Dark Souls 3 anymore. Oh, we retconned it. Good job, team. Good job. We made Dark Souls 3 seem like fucking fan fiction with a character who was never mentioned, who was actually the last-born child of Gwyn, who actually had the most important task out of all of Gwyn's children, looking after a city full of undead fucks. And also the Abyss is there somehow. And also there's a dragon, even though we wiped them out in this gigantic war. But hey, whatever, fuck it. The gods brought another dragon back for reasons. I don't think very highly of Dark Souls 3's story, by the way. Anyways. Lastborn of Gwyn. Boost right hand weapon with Rays of Dark Moon. The power of the Rays of the Dark Moon are manifested in vengeance and deeper the animus, the more devastating the attack. Okay, so basically it's a weapon buff. So if I had a talisman in my left hand here, I could slather Dark Moon energies all over my right hand sword here, and go to town with it. Now, there are certain ways that you can use weapon buffs to an absolutely disgusting degree. One of them I'll show you, I'll give you an idea right now. Oh no, do I not have it on me? Oh well, I've got the bottomless box right over here. It won't take long. Do I need to repair anything? No, of course not. Access bottomless box, weapon. It's a thrusting sword. Well, I mean, one of the weapons you can do this with is a thrusting sword known as Ricard's Rapier. Now, there's another reason why doing a Dex Int build is a good idea. I didn't really choose to use this playstyle, but this is something you can do. Now, you'll notice with Ricard's Rapier, the special attack with your strong attack is you do multiple hits. And if you do the follow-up, I said, if you do the follow-up... Fuck. What the hell? Okay, why can't I get this to go? Okay, there we go. If you do the follow-up, you do this massive flurry of stabs. Similarly, if you use the Painting Guardian Sword, you have a multi-hit, and if you do the follow-up, you do a flurry of attacks. Now, the thing is, weapon buffs, spells, like Darkmoon Blade and Magic Weapon and all that other fun stuff, they add a certain static number to a weapon's hit. So every time you hit with that weapon, that damage is done. Even if your weapon does less damage, like it's supposed to, because you're, doing a flurry of attacks. Which makes sense. It makes sense that you do that, yes? Okay. Okay, what do I have equipped on me? What? What was that? I thought I saw something. No. I'm actually going to swap out you and you. Let's bring this down. I'm gonna go with the Great Soul Arrows and 2 copies of Soul Spear and you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and double down and just get some White Dragon Breath in there? I mean, I fucking equipped it for a reason, you know? So, now I'm all about the ranged attacks. I've got a bunch of these, I got a bunch of these, I got a bunch of these. You know, just for fun. So, if I'm not mistaken, it's the description on the White Seance Ring. Divine Ring? No, wait, is it the White Seance Ring? It might be the Darkmoon Seance Ring. Yes, it's the Darkmoon Seance Ring. Granted to adherents of Gwendolyn, Darkmoon deity, lastborn of Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight. Gwendolyn is the only remaining deity in Orlando. Okay. Then there's that on top of the Darkmoon Blade Covenant. There we go. Darkmoon Blade Covenant ring. Ring granted, blah blah blah. Gwendolyn, all too aware of his repulsive, frail appearance created the illusion of a Sister Guinevere. Okay, so this is an illusion. Which means everything that the entire first half of the game was leading up to was actually a giant lie. And so, after having put some thought into it, Minuet has decided she doesn't cotton to that. She's not really a huge fan of being lied to, especially after all the shit that she had to go through. So, she's gonna do this now.
Thou that tarnisheth the Godmother's image, I am Gwyndolin. And thy transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
Okay. There's a couple of things here. Now, it's entirely possible that you could interpret the darkening here. Oh, I just realized I made a huge mistake doing this while I'm in human form. Alright. Is there a ledge I can throw myself off of? Uh-oh. Oh wait, I could do this again. And not have to worry about it. Because if you're in human form and you go down into the foyer there, shit, I fucked up. You will get invaded by Darkmoon Blades really easily, and I don't feel like dealing with that. I know there's probably not a whole lot of people playing right now at this time of day, but whatever, you know, just in case. Oh no, I've died. How could I have let this happen? Apparently very easily. Hello? Wait, why am I not on Orlando? What the fuck? No, get me back to the Chamber of the Princess. I didn't warp to Honor Londo. I never did. What the hell? That is so weird, and I don't know why that is. Okay, let me just sit down at this bonfire. I wonder if I die again, will that just take me back to Honor Londo bonfire instead? That is so bizarre. Alright, come on. You know it would be some real shit if you couldn't use this area afterwards. Like, it would make sense if that bonfire didn't, if that bonfire just went out. But anyways, you could interpret the darkening of this area as Gwyndolin kind of like setting the mood, but it's kind of implied that the sun itself in over on Orlando was also an illusion, which just furthers the whole fact that Minuet has been lied to this entire time. And, oh looky here, who do we have here? Why, it's the last Balder Knight, and a Berenique Knight. Actually, it's a couple of human NPCs that are wearing Balder armor and the steel armor, aka the Berenique armor. Wow, you ain't shit. Wow, I'm not shit. Hold on, I know. Oh my god, that damage is disgusting. Okay, that's not quite where I was trying to go. Oh dear. Oh no 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 no. So it's kind of hard to guess who these two are, but it's kind of implied that they are Darkmoon Blades here to punish you for destroying the illusion. But they're also really good farm material. Because check this shit out, son. They drop 5,000 souls a pop. However, all the other enemies are also gone, which also implies that they too were illusions. Now, let me see here. So, those giant knights, the silver knights, all illusions. Very powerful illusions, apparently, but illusions nonetheless. Let's see here. Do those imp enemies go away? They do. So, they were all illusions. All of which was kind of implied by the sounds that they made when you killed them, and by the weird, like, Hello. By the weird disappearing act they made upon dying. Not like a proper dying animation, but they kind of fade out of existence. Now, remember her? One of my favorite characters in the game, and she's basically here to tell you off for destroying the illusion. Really?
So it was you, was it? How dare you produce a blade upon a deity? How did you ever get this far? I shall end your suffering here and now. It is the least that I can do.
Yeah, well, you're also wearing heavy armor, so... And I do more damage than you do. Oh, but you want to do magic damage, huh? So let's talk magic damage. Ow, fuck. That didn't work out. Now... I have played basically her build at some point. I haven't done it exactly like that, but I have messed around with like a cosplay version of her, basically. And that spell that she's using is Dark Moon Blade, by the way. That's what that looks like. It looks pretty fucking cool, I have to admit. It looks like she's coming at me with a lightsaber that's glowing in the dark. But, I mean, unfortunately for her, it's the AI in Dark Souls 1. And they didn't just build NPCs to be stupidly fucking powerful like they do in Dark Souls 3. So, she can't really beat me.
But how? This woman is a threat. Master Gwendolyn.
I'll take that. Hey, Artsy, what's up? It's all good. So she's dead. I'm trying to remember how you get her armor. I don't already have it, do I? No, I wouldn't. But I do definitely want her armor. It's unfortunate that I think you have to kill her to get her armor. And that is unfortunate because her armor is really fucking cool. Okay, so... I could probably look that shit up. In fact, I will. Now, is this the way I make it go down? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, of course, the real stupid thing about all of this is that Gwendolyn doesn't just, like, turn things off. He leaves everything in total functionality, including the bonfire, this giant staircase elevator, and... most importantly, that bonfire. And also, he doesn't recreate the illusion of the giant statue, which kept me out of here in the first place, which, if he could just make that come back up, he might get rid of me. I'm gonna use he pronouns for him, by the way, because that's what the game does. I'm gonna reset the zone. Maybe her armor drops here. I don't know, actually. Okay, so this is going to be kind of interesting. I do actually really like the gimmick of this boss fight, though it's a bit weird. Here we go.
Heretic. First thou offendest the Godmother, and now thou see fit to trample upon the tomb of the great Lord. I am the Dark Sun, Gwendolyn. Let the atonement for thy felonies commence.
Alright. So there he is. And I love how sorrowful this track is. And he disappeared. He's a disappearing boy. And he's way down over there. I could probably shoot him with a bow and arrow. A little bit higher, a little bit to the left. Okay, a little too high. Okay. very minuscule damage because the damage drop off at a distance. Oh well, that's fine. Okay, that's one attack. Here's another attack. One of the best things to do for this attack is to just be like, oh god, that goes through pillars. Oh shit. So here's the gimmick, really. Ow! He also has a crossbow that fires multiple bolts. Fuck. Oh god. Oh god. Holy shit. Okay, time to readjust. Oh wait, duh. I should swap that out for that. And this out for this, because I'm not really going to be using my sorcery a whole lot, so here's what I'm going to do. Hello? Wait, what? What? Why am I at this bonfire? That's super obnoxious, dude. Hang on, do I have any homeward bones? I do have some homeward bones. Wait, is this just going to turn me here? Oh my fucking god, it is. Jesus Christ, really? That's so annoying. Oh, wait, while I'm thinking about it, I didn't read the description on this Firekeeper Soul. Because a lot of them do have unique descriptions. Firekeeper Soul, blah blah blah. Soul of Dark Moon Knightess, Firekeeper of Anarlondo. A Firekeeper's soul is a draw for humanity, and held within their bosoms. Below just a thin layer of skin are swarms of humanity that writhe and squirm. Her brass armor serves to disguise this ghastly form. Wow. It's kind of shitty. I can't believe I seriously have to make this fucking walk every time I want to fight Gwendolyn. This is seriously stupid. I guess that's supposed to be your punishment for betraying the gods, but at the same time, like, come on, man. Come on. Be fucking reasonable here. I think it might actually be more beneficial in time. Wait a minute. Are you fucking serious right now? Oh no, I can't summon the... I can't just summon the elevator from this side. Are you fucking serious? Okay. Hang on a second. We're gonna have to do some shit real quick. If the game is seriously gonna fucking play that way. Alrighty then. Fuck, wrong direction. This is Dark Souls 1, let's see. I'm finishing the full Let's Play I did. I started ages ago of Dark Souls 1. I kind of talked about it earlier, but I'm really bad about starting really big projects and then just, like, never finishing them, so I'm going to finish this today. Now, what's weird about it is the implication that these imps are illusions, because the imp enemies in this zone disappear, but for some reason, this imp doesn't. Although it is possibly because this imp is for gameplay purposes and therefore has to continue to exist. I just kind of wanted to see my character in the cutscene again. So do these imps. These imps kind of have to exist. But it does imply that there are some actual imps. Also, we get down here and the illusion of the sun is being maintained. That's kind of the big thing, too. That's why there's no, like, it's so difficult to create, like, a frame of time for events in Dark Souls 1. It's because... Oh, hello? I forgot about you, didn't I? Out of my way, sire. It's because there is no day-night cycle in the world of Dark Souls. In Lordran, there is no day-night cycle because the sun is basically fueled by the gods, in a way. Because it's not the real world. Lordran itself is the realm of the gods, and Lordran as a whole is kind of like the realm of the gods, and there are humans that have been allowed to live on the outskirts of their grand city Anarlondo in Lordran. Let me just tune some magic. I'm not going to be using projectile magic a whole lot here, so what I'm thinking instead is... Let's see here. I want that. I'll go and grab 2 castings of that. And... I guess I will go ahead and grab these and this. So, okay, that'll work out. Okay, and now I can just go to the Darkmoon Tomb right away. Now, hopefully, what will happen is it won't just boot me back to saying that the Anarlondo bonfire is my bonfire. And what I'll be able to do is just respawn at that bonfire and warp here, and that will be faster. Yeah. Okay. So here's my plan of action. Man, I have to really fucking travel to get those souls back, huh? Okay, when he rises up on his snake legs, by the way, he has snake legs, which you can kind of see from here. When he rises up on his snake legs, that's your indication that he's going to do that. No, don't you get away from... God! Hey, I got a hit in there. Alright. That works out. Oh dear, please, please no. Please, no. Oh my fucking god. So, this boss fight is obnoxious as shit. Oh my god. Please, for the love of God, no. Tell me that it did not just reset my bonfire. Oh my fucking god, are you serious? That's so goddamn annoying. Considering what an obnoxious fucking boss fight this is. Oh my god, that's so obnoxious. It's been a long time. A lot of playthroughs, I don't fight Gwendolyn. Because I don't want to. It's not what my character would usually do. But just the fact that it resets your bonfire to this bonfire, and you have to reset the fucking elevator every time, that is so fucking stupid and annoying. That is seriously the fucking worst. I have to wonder if going through this section would be faster than just going back to Sen's Fortress. I didn't even rest at the bonfire. It should not have reset which bonfire I sat at. Oh my god. Do these guys stick around? Yeah, they do. Oh my god, this is the worst. Get out of my way, everyone, for God's sake. I guess quite literally, they're here for a God's sake, but just... Man, that's obnoxious. That is just so fucking obnoxious. This might not be faster than just going back down to Sen's Fortress and warping into the Darkmoon Tomb, to be honest with you. And it's certainly much more dangerous. Fucking lock on. Jesus Christ. I'm not in the mood for this. Just... Goddamn, you know? Come on now. Good job, idiot. Alright. Please stop having collisions so I can walk past you now. Thank you. that giant boobied statue, though, so there is one good thing about this. I'm not even gonna go down there and fight that one last guy. Hang on, where's the elevator button? Man, that is so annoying. Are you fucking serious? Doesn't just call it... Oh, okay. So how about that weather? If this doesn't work this time, I'm tempted to just slap on all the magic armor, magic protection armor that I had on a minute ago to fight the four kings. In fact, I guess I may as well go ahead and do that. What's the magic defense on that? Awful. So let's see here. There's that. Was it this one? No, not that one. Was the Channeler Road, because 45, and these because they're light. What's the magic defense on these? 30, so that's pretty decent. What's the Channeler skirts like? Oh, really? These are actually higher. Okay, well. Well, in that case, is the magic defense higher on these? No, it's not. That's so weird. This look is so ugly, and I hate it. But fuck, man. Magic defense. I need it. I need that magic defense right now. Alright, come on now. Let's go. Let's see. I do have the lingering Dragon Crest ring, so my spell should last a little bit longer. So that includes stuff like Magic Shield, which is a great help. God, that is such a problem. Oh, God. Okay. Alright, well that wasn't too bad. Excuse me one moment there. Oh, God. Okay, if I Serpentine it, it's not as bad. Okay, that seems to be the key. Okay, got it. Come on, come on, come on. Cast, cast, cast. Go. Okay. Okay, I think I've got it this time. Quit using that Evelyn, you little bitch. Oh, God. No! Fuck! God, I hate you! Fuck. Oh, my fucking God! Oh my God. Please, for the love of God. Okay, switching to something else. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Please, please, no. Ah! Damn it! Fuck! I hate this boss fight. Okay. Alright. Criminy, really? Don't you disappear on me, you little fucking... God damn it! Okay. Alright. I'm gonna fucking get you. Here I come. Here I come. There we go.
Oh, heretic, swathed in dark, an eternal curse upon thee.
That's my wife. To be honest. Gwendolyn is one of those cases where, like, I love the character, okay? I really do. I just wish they did more with her. I really do. Like, they don't do enough. They never really did a whole lot with the character, and it's really unfortunate. Because it's an interesting and unique kind of character. Like this weird thing of just like... Okay, there we go. Now I'm back to my usual self. Now I'm ready to take on the end of the game. Yeah, I really wish they did more with Gwendolyn as a character. Now let's see here. In here we have an epitaph. A fake grave, if you would. Because there's a gigantic coffin that was made using... No, it was made in honor of Gwen, but Gwen is not actually this fucking big. Oh, hello, there's another chest over there. Oh, yeah! Okay, so now we have the Miracle Sunlight Blade. So if I was playing a Faith build, this would be the only way to get that, which is unfortunate. And we have the Brass Armor. Okay, so that's how you get the Brass Armor. Now you might notice that I am no longer in a covenant because I broke my covenant with the Darkmoon Blades by killing the person who runs the Darkmoon Blades. So there's that. Let's see, what can I glean from the Brass Armor? Aside from the fact that it is cool as hell. Hello? Am I blind? Oh wait, no, I know where it is. It's gonna be... Here it is. It's gonna be close to the Crimson Robes. Okay. Former armor of the Darkmoon Knightess, Firekeeper of Honor Londo. After becoming undead, she visited the Dark Sun Gwendolyn at the Mausoleum of the Spiral Depths. Really, that's cool. Became a blade of the Dark Blade. Oh my fucking... Reading, I do it. Became a blade of the Dark Moon and assumed the flame-keeping duty. She received this armor which hides her hideous form and helps her hunt the guilty. So it's protective and it's very pretty, which makes her feel good about herself. More than anything, the helmet. The helmet is so cool. It's so fucking cool. The only bad thing about the helmet is the crest on the back of it. Okay, and then on top of that we have the Sunlight Blade. Miracle wielded by Lord Gwyn's firstborn. Which is really weird because she doesn't really use a melee weapon. She just uses a bunch of ranged attacks. Power of the sunlight manifested as lightning is very... Oh wait, wielded by firstborn. Oh, I misread that. That's actually the firstborn son who has been forgotten to the annals of history. Or forgotten because he lost the annals of history, which is weird. And it's also kind of implied like why there's a lot of like empty spaces where like the game doesn't explain certain things and certain events. But this was wielded by... So that's kind of interesting. Gwen is like, yo, lightning spears, I'm gonna chuck some. And then his firstborn son is like, okay, that's cool, I'm gonna grab some lightning and slather it onto my sword instead of that. How's that sound, Dad? You're dead to me, son. The power of sunlight manifested... The power of sunlight manifested as lightning, okay, that's not really how that works, but alright, is very effective against dragons. When the eldest son was stripped of his deific status, he left this on his father's coffin, perhaps as a final farewell. Isn't that nice? Okay. Now, let me see here. The thing too, the gimmick of the boss fight being an endless hallway, it was made using fake game stuff because the hallway is actually about this long. I can see the end of the hallway right now. Holy crap, I think I might have enough for another level. Man, I'm gonna have that 6 attunement slots one of these days, maybe, if I feel like it. I don't really think it's necessary, but hey, wouldn't it be nice? Okay. Now before we enter into the final zone, I think I will go ahead and show off some shit. Just for fun. Just for fun. Because, I mean, hey man, we're in the home stretch. This is the final section of the game right here. Oh, that's right. Since we are in the final stretch of the game, I am now going to switch to my end of the game shield. Here it is. I'm gonna have Solaire shield, just because. Hello, is that? No, okay. I am going to chain my magic back around again. 2 soul spears, crystal soul spear. I got 2. And then we're gonna have some dark sorcery. Okay, why don't we just have some good old dark sorcery equipped? Pursuers, yeah. 8, 4, and 3 castings, respectively. Alright, alright, alright. So, for fun, I'm going to show you some methods of farming. Farming souls and grinding for items. Because it'll be fun. Shut up, it's fun. It will be fun and you will enjoy it. God damn it. I've kind of talked about it before, but there are ways, speaking of farming, this is one of the things that I do appreciate about Dark Souls 1 that later games have just kind of given up on. Now, speaking of fun, why don't we go ahead and switch to my rapier here, my Velka's rapier, just for fun, so I can use my magic sword. But speaking of farming, there are, oh, hello. There are ways, do I have anything? Of farming Covenant tokens, including Humanity, which is the Covenant token for several different factions. Hello? So let's see here. Down in the Demon Ruins, during that shortcut between the Demon Ruins and Lost Izalith, if you kill those Sunlight Maggots, they will slowly over time drop Sunlight Talismans, so that you can farm Sunlight Talismans for the Sunlight Warriors Covenant. If you find any of those bug-eyed nematodes, you can farm Death Eyes off of them, so you can hand those in to Nito for the Gravelord Covenant. Do I have enough for a level? And I talked about it just earlier, but if you hang out in the Painted World of Ariamis and you kill the Crow Ladies, you can... What was I checking? Leveling up? No, I can't. You can just kill Crow Ladies all day and get souvenirs of reprisal over time to hand into Dark Moon Gwendolyn, Dark Sun Gwendolyn, whatever, for the Dark Moon Blade Covenant. And you can kill those Gricks in the Duke's Archive Tower for humanity, or kill the rats in the sewers for humanity to turn into either the Dark Wraiths or the, who are they? The Dark Wraiths or Daughters of Chaos, that's who they are, to increase rank with them. So, this is Soul Farming 101 right here. Oh dear. Just kill these guys really good. Fuck. That guy's really easy to kill. This guy's a little bit less easy to kill. But as you can see, these guys are not that hard to kill. And they're dropping 2k a pop. Come on. Oh, I fucked that up. Come on. Fuck. Fuck. $2k a pop. And this guy's super easy. He may do a lot of damage with his axe, but he doesn't play very defensive very well. Except, for some reason, unlike the rest of them, he only drops 1k. But, let's see here, there's three of those guys that drop 2k, that guy, so that's 7k just for how long? How long did that take me? 7,000 souls that was. And how long did that take me? Obviously, I'm really juiced up right now, so it was very easy. But this right here, and there are easier ways of doing it, too. You can really cheese the encounter. Is one of the easiest ways to just, boom, look at that, another level. Obviously, at 87,000k a pop per level now, that's going to take a fucking minute. But it's a really good place to level that up. Let's see here. Now for... who am I looking for? Daughter of Chaos? Daughter of Chaos. There we go. Okay, now I just have to change this ring out for the rusted iron ring so I can walk around in the poison a little bit quicker. This is a little bit less about souls, more about materials, so it's one of those things where you can just forget about souls and throw yourself at this and die until you have the materials that you need. But you warp to here, come out on over this way, out to the Swamp of Blighttown, and on the far end of Blighttown, there are leeches that regularly drop both green and green Titanite shards and large Titanite shards, which are good for mid-tier melee weapons and any elemental weapons that you might want to make, including fire weapons, lightning weapons, magic weapons, and divine weapons. Okay. The only problem is this particular jog up here is a bit time-consuming, and it can get very frustrating very quickly. And I mentioned earlier about how you can farm the Dark Wraiths in New Londo for Titanite chunks, which I've already beautifully illustrated. Thank you, RNGesus. And I did mention I was going to read... Oh! Cripes, that's it. I forgot to read the stuff about Dark Sun Gwendolyn. Hello, Mr. Big boulder man. I'm going to ignore you now. Please ignore me. Please ignore me. Let's see here. Hello? Wrong way. I should actually switch to my other sword for this. Here we go. That's better. I'm just going to ignore these mosquitoes real quick. Because they are around here is where they start. Gigantic, disgusting leech boys. Bop, bop, bop. Boom. These guys right here, they drop them. They drop a whole bunch. Bunches and bunches of large Titanite and green Titanite, and they drop it all day, especially if you're wearing the gold serpent ring, which increases item discovery, especially if you have 10 humanity, which increases your item discovery, and especially if you're human, which increases your item discovery. Those last two are a bit harder to keep track of, because obviously with all the poison and everything, it's a bit hard to do all this, so... Basically just wear the gold serpent ring and you'll be fine. I mean, look at... They're not too bad to deal with. They're not very strong. The main problem is dealing with them, as well as the poison and all the mosquitoes that are always going to be pestering you. But then back here, behind the big tree that leads you into Ash Lake, is when you get into the real meat and potatoes of the farming run. Boom, ba ba ba. I said boom. I said, hey, what do you think you're doing not dying? Stop that. Stop not dying. Stop being alive. Look at all of them. Oh, yes. It's harvest time, babies. Come and get it. How dare you stagger me. It's harvest time, children. It's time. Just call me Farmer Bonnie. Farmer Minuet, I guess, because that's the character's name. Yes, yes, yes. Ah, there we go. Large Titanite. Thank you for your wonderful demonstration. Stop being alive. Stop it. Okay, so that's how that works. If I can just get on out of here. That's how you farm real good for green Titanite and large Titanite. You just go on down there and you have yourself a ball. Let's see here. Now, down in the depths, can I get to the depths quickly? Effectively, can I get to the depths quickly? Ah, yes, I can. Okay, that works out very well. I'm not going to go through the entirety of the depths just to show this off, but I'm going to give you a good idea. The slime balls. Farm what? How dare you? How dare you attack me? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know me? Okay, so these slimy slime boys. These slimy slime boys, they're not as consistent as the leeches in the poisonous swamp, but they are an earlier version of them. They also drop green titanite, and sometimes they drop large titanite. They mostly drop green titanite in my experience. I can't say so much for the large titanite, but they're not exactly very dangerous because of how slow they are. It's just something that takes a minute to actually accomplish, is killing them. Hang on, I've got an idea. Let's see how they like this. They like it a lot. Good show. Do 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 do. Wow. Amazing. So they're not that hard to kill, they're not really difficult at all, and you can farm them from green titanite pretty early on. And speaking of fairly early on farming, rats. There are a ton of rats in the depths, and rats drop humanity. So you can just run through the depths a few times, get yourself some humanity, have all the humanity that you'd ever need to turn in as covenant tokens for certain areas of the game, and also to use because it is a gameplay mechanic item as well. So anything else while I'm thinking about it? There is one other thing while I'm thinking about it. Can I get to... Yes, okay. So this is something that's a bit more late-gamey, but there are these gigantic oyster enemies both at Ash Lake, and that's a bit harder to get to. It's a bit harder to get to. It's a bit more tedious to actually get into Ash Lake, and there's a lot less of them, so it's not a very consistent farming tool. But once you beat Seath the Scaleless, you can just warp back here into the Crystal Cave, where there are a fuck ton of these guys. Excuse me, sir. Oh, I see. Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Wow, really? Ow! These guys hit like a truck, though, so it's a bit... This is a bit more dangerous. But, as you can see, they drop Twinkling Titanite very consistently, and there's a whole bunch of them in that room. So that's a nice, easy, quick way to farm for Twinkling Titanite. And that's about all I can think of in terms of quick and easy farming methods that I've used throughout the game. And that's some full disclosure for you, because I've done that all throughout the game. Aside from that, I can't think of anything else. I guess I could show off... Okay, if I go back to the Daughter of Chaos bonfire... This won't take but a minute. It won't take but a minute. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I did briefly mention it earlier, but there is the shortcut between Lost Izalith and the Demon Ruins. So once you have reliable access to the Demon Ruins, you can go right on down here. Boom. Oh, really? I mean, this is mainly once you unlock the shortcut between the two. Excuse me? Excuse me? You're active? You're trying to attack me? No, who the fuck do you think you are? Get out of here, Bichon. Get out of here, Binch. Who the fuck do these people think I am? Okay. Oh god, oh god, oh god! Oh wait, I'm gonna kill two birds with one stone with this, now that I think about it. Huh. Ah. Okay. So, once you can reliably access this particular shortcut, you can kill these guys to get sunlight talismans, which is good if you want... Hello? What? Why did that health bar? And you know what? I had that same issue last time I was here. I don't know what causes that. It's very peculiar. The only thing I can think of is that once I activate... Oh, dear. Oh, wow. I bumped the desk and the mouse freaked out a little bit. God, this is so bad. Like, look at that. I can see some of the zone through the seams of this tunnel. Like, that's so bad. You can literally see the seams of the zone. But in addition to that, this is the only Titanite demon in the entire game that respawns, which means this is the only way to reliably farm for demonic Titanite. Hello. Oh, dear God, the damage on that. This is why I made a caster build, by the way. Oh, that's so good. Okay, and the rest of the farming areas are a bit more obtuse and difficult to get to, so I'm not going to waste your time getting to them. But suffice to say, down that way, there are those gigantic, chaotic red octopus things, the fleshy blenders. Oh, look at all the dragon butts. Look at all those dragon butts. Look at all them all. Look how stupid this zone looks. Because that's the only enemy, is those guys down there. Look how randomly and thoughtlessly they're placed. Man, I'm so disappointed in Lost Isolate. What a cool idea for a zone that's held back by poor execution and just clearly running out of time and not finishing it. Probably. That's what it seems to be anyways. Oh, hello. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. In addition to that, the zone that leads up to the boss fight with Gravelord Nito, those pinwheel guys, all the pinwheel enemies have a chance to drop white Titanite, which is if you're making a divine build. And in the crystal caves, the crystal enemies will drop some blue Titanite, which is what you need for magic weapons. Okay, I did it. I talked about all the farming zones. Now, before I forget and thus move on, let's see. Soul of Gwendolyn, acquire many souls, blah blah blah. Soul of Darkmoon Gwendolyn, god of the dark sun, which I guess is in this case is the moon, and guardian of the deserted on Orlando. Special being, special souls, blah blah blah. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little bit of cheating real quick. Don't mind that. Oh dear, the noise. It's all gone. It's all gone. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I'm just going to go to the Wikia real quick. Blah, blah, blah. There are two weapons that you can get your hands on using Dark Sun Gwendolyn's Soul, and they are the Darkmoon Bow and the Tin Darkmoon Catalyst. And I'm going to read off the description of both of them now, since I'm not going to get the chance to get either one. Bow, Darkmoon Bow. Bow born from the soul of Dark Sun Gwendolyn, Darkmoon deity who watches over the abandoned city of the gods on Orlando. This golden bow is imbued with the powerful magic and impressive moonlight arrows. Fucking whoop-de-doo. Yeah, long story short, it's if you're doing a faith and dexterity build. That's really all it boils down to. That's the bow you use. And then we have the Darkmoon Catalyst, which is a catalyst, which I mentioned earlier, which actually scales off of your intelligence and not your faith. Do I have that right? No, wait, I have that backwards. It's a catalyst for sorceries that scales off of your faith and not your intelligence. I had that backwards. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Velka's talisman again. So you can cast sorceries on the same power level that you would cast miracles if you're doing a faith build, but you still need to have enough intelligence to actually be able to use those sorceries. Okay. Catalyst born from the soul of Dark Sun Gwendolyn, Darkmoon deity who watches over the abandoned city of the gods on Orlando. Gwendolyn is Gwen's lastborn and a legitimate god, but he is also a moon sorcerer, and this wand is boosted by faith, not intelligence. It's the wand that he himself used, so let's go ahead and get that back in there. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? Wasn't it nice and fun to cheat? It was fun. I enjoyed cheating. So real quick, I think the maximum power level your Estus Flask can get up to is 7. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. This wrongfully garnered, extra, Sunkeeper soul. Oh man, we are about to enter into the final stretch of the game. I can't believe it's finally here. Is this the way? Oh my god, you know what I just remembered? I just remembered Patches. I haven't talked to Patches. I cheated because I looked up information about the items instead of acquiring them, so that I could talk about them and their lore implications, of which there was very little in the way of lore implications. But hey, let's talk to Patches real quick.
Oh, we meet again. How many of you are there? You've come at the perfect time. I'm done with the looting. I'm a humble merchant now, and wondrous treasures have I, at a special price for you. There you are. Have a nice look at them. Oh, relax. No more funny business out of me, my friend.
Sure. Oh, but I can learn a gesture. Prostration. As if to imply that he's actually sincerely apologetic. But hey, look at that. He sells Eyes of Death. Which makes sense. Because there's stuff down there that you would want down there where he comes from in the catacombs that you would want Eyes of Death for, but it's also another way to get your hands on the token. Oh wow, he sells each mask, so I don't have the Mask of the Mother. I forgot that he did that. You know what? Kind of want to buy it just so I have it. But he also sells the Cleric Armor, which is a tad on the unique side, so it is beneficial to get him kind of early on if you can. But let's read the Mask of the Mother. One of the 3 masks of Pinwheel the Necromancer, who stole the power of the Gravelord and reigns over the catacombs. This mask belonged to the kindly mother, slightly raises HP. So the father holds everyone up, increases your equipment load. The mother is kindly and looks after everyone, so it raises your HP. Equipment load, HP, and then stamina recovery. Mask belongs to the naive child. So, I mean, children are very energetic, that's kind of the symbolism there. But if you actually look at Pinwheel, or any of the Pinwheel enemies, actually hold that thought.
Right. Good stuff, eh? Don't you forget.
He's so nice after that. Wake up! And
No,
stop
no,
snoring, it's
I'm
annoying.
Fine. I'm fine. Well,
Oh, there you are again. Well, welcome to Trusty Patch's Trove of Treasures. We chop prices, not limbs.
That's a cute line. Let's see what does he say if I just walk away without buying anything?
What? Nothing appeals to you? Well, you must have poor taste.
Okay,
Oh, there you are again. Well, welcome to We Chop Price.
what else does he have? In terms of weapons, he sells the Crescent Axe, which is a really good clerical weapon, because it scales off of your faith very well, even though it doesn't really scale off of anything else very well. So if you're doing a pure faith build, it would be a pretty decent weapon. Let's see here. He sells the mace, talisman, so a lot of clerical stuff, you know, a lot of stuff for clerics. Oh, a Thurlin talisman. I don't think I have one of these. Thurlin clerics. High miracle adjust. Alright. Only to high-ranking Thurlin clerics. Not a whole lot of lore on that one, but it's alright. He also sells a couple miracles. He also sells just various provisions that a cleric might want, including a healing item and some prism stones. And well, I mean, let's address the elephant in the room. He kills clerics and takes their shit and sells it. That's basically what this is all meant to imply. Like I was saying, if you look at any of the Pinwheel enemies, the father mask is on the bottom, you know, kind of implying that it's holding it up, and then the mother mask, and then you have the child mask on top of it. I mean, there's kind of like this whole like implied story of like this father who tried to use necromancy to bring his family back to life, but kind of warped all of their bodies together into this horrible, ugly amalgamation that is Pinwheel. There's a lot of implication to that, and it's neat. But Pinwheel is another one of those kind of footnotes of Dark Souls of like, oh, if only they could have done it a little bit better, if only we're a little less subtle, maybe more people would appreciate it. But not a lot of people talk about it, and also because the boss fight is really not that impressive. The big gimmick of it is scary, but it's the actual, like, Pinwheel dies really quick if you can actually find the one, aside all the mirror mimics, the mirror clones, whatever. Is there any lore about the cleric armor? Worn by the warrior clerics of the Way of White, who are famous for being unyielding in battle. It is rather substantial in size and weight, making its wearer look even bigger than he usually is. It makes you look fat! How many souls do I need for this shit? 15 plus 10, 22k?
Come on, you can do better than that.
He's not
Nobody
having.
likes a tightwad. You hear me?
Oh, please. I kind of do want the armor, though, just because I know it's going to take a minute for me to actually get the chance to get that armor. Okay, so 5k for the... 3k for each of those, so both of these. And then... Okay, how much does that leave me with? A little bit over 15k, as long as Gwendolyn is a good drop. Okay, that'll give me enough to get the cleric armor.
Oh, well, what? We chop.
Okay. So now, and
Right. Good stuff, eh?
Very
Don't
good.
you forget who got it for you.
Whoops. Good thing I was facing away from him. Let's see here. Where does it show up at? One would think it would show up next to the holy robes, and in fact it does. I do kind of like this armor. I really do. And it's not that heavy either. If I was making a more clerical character, I might be so inclined to make this. Like the look. Although I think I would go instead of the helm. I do kind of like the helm though. I like the nasal guard. I might go with something like this. That's a good look. That's a pretty okay look. The browns don't quite match up, but it's a decent look. Does the helm have anything different to say? Sometimes helmets do have slightly different bits of lore on them. I mean, you know, it's pretty alright. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw the whole set on just for fun real quick. I don't really like the leggings so much. They're kind of big and... Okay. Cleric gauntlets? Cleric gauntlets, yeah. Like, the legs just kind of are a bit goofy. It's like, it's chainmail hosen that are way too long. And then your person, instead of like, oh shit, this is too long, and taking it to the blacksmith, they let it hang out over their feet and just tied some small belts around their ankles to keep it from flowing too much. But as you can see, it looks quite silly. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good armor set. Like, it actually looks like, you guessed it, armor. Looks like armor that a person from the time period that this is supposed to be taking place in would actually be wearing. As a result, I'm a big fan of it. But anyways, Patches, what else you got to say?
Oh, there you are. Well, welcome to We Chop.
Mm-hmm.
Here, have you met that backwoods Shiva? Believe me on this one, my love. A man is trouble. I can see it in his eyes. I just can. No doubt about it. Watch him.
Anything else?
Yeah. Have you met that sunbathing Solaire? Believe me on this one, my love. He's a complete idiot. But he happens to be an awfully strong idiot. So just nod your head and keep him on your side.
The funny thing about that is that he's not even wrong. Solaire's character, in terms of stats, is built, like, stupidly strong. I have seen him... Okay, so, like, story time. Back in the day, I really got into PvP when I had this game on Xbox 360. It was not a very good time in my life. It was not very good. The online community for this game, especially on the Xbox 360, was not a healthy one. Let's just say that. But during the last area, there's a way that you can get Solaire to be summonable. And there would be times where I would just summon Solaire and just hang out, wait for people to invade, and just fight them with Solaire. And I, at one point, let Solaire go, and he fucking went one-on-one with one of the stronger build types in the game, which is someone that's doing a strength build with the Black Knight Great Axe, which is one of the best weapons in the game. And he fucking did it. And it's awesome. And so, Patches here is not wrong. But you're kind of picking up on what Patches is laying down, and Patches' big gimmick here is that he's here to talk shit. He's here to talk shit about every other person in the game that you come across.
Wait, have you met Petrus? That self-proclaimed cleric?
Yeah.
Believe me on this one, my love. The man is scum. Don't you be fooled by his claims to do good. They're all the same, those rotten clerics.
So the thing is, like, even though Patches is a giant asshole, and he's constantly trying to kill you to nick your items and sell them, like he does with clerics, he's not wrong. He's the most brutally honest character in the entire game, and everything he says about every other character, just about, is right.
Boy, have you met Lautrec the Embraced? Believe me on this one, my love. He's completely mad. He wouldn't think twice about cutting somebody down. So watch out for him. Especially if you've humanity to spare.
He's right again.
I'm done with the looting. I'm a humble merchant now. And wondrous treasures have I. At a special price for you. I'm done with the
Okay,
looting.
so that's all he has to say, really.
What? Nothing appeals to you? Well,
So that's the weird thing, is that even though, like, talking about himself, he's not an honest person at all. Actually, hang on, let me get the rest of my stuff set up. Although, I wonder, like, how does it look with this? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That's actually not bad. What about this? That's not bad. It doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite... Okay. Welcome to the fun part of the video where Rabbot just fucking plays dress up with his character like a girl or something. Oh god, that doesn't work at all. That's hideous. What about this? Not quite. Like the gorget and the I forget what that part that protects your chin is called. The gorget is kind of overlaying on top of the hood, and that doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. What about... Oh god, no. No. It could work if you really work around it. What about some of this? No. What about some of this? No. What about... what about this? That's kind of okay. Fuck. Damn it. Damn it. Shit. Fuck. Okay. The colors don't quite match up, but I kind of like it, actually. Maybe that's what I need to do for the gargoyle helm, is just get the cleric armor. Who knows, who knows, who knows. Anyways, that's enough putzing around. Let's get the rest of my stuff set up the way I had it. No, wait, the other way. And then we will go finish the game. This is not a bad look. But man, I gotta stick to the canonical look. It's the one that I commissioned. Slightly, sort of, except for the gauntlets are a bit different than the one I commissioned. Alright. 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 I'm sorry about that joke, Artsy. That was messed up with me. That was a stupid joke. It was more like a joke on myself, because you've seen me. You know the way I dress. I peacock it up like you would not believe. So the very notion that I, of all people, would be like, oh, playing dress up like some kind of girl, that's really more of, like, the punchline I was going for. But yeah, that was not the best joke in the world. What are those things hanging off your cheeks? Are they the sex parts? I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. But I've collected all the Lord Souls.
I am pleased to see you well. Is it something urgent?
We're done here. We're done. Is there anything else to say?
The beings who possess these souls have outlived their usefulness, or have chosen the path of the wicked, as the primordial serpent. I implore you
Okay.
that...
This is old dialogue, so he's got nothing else left to say. So let's
Very
go.
well. Then stay still for a moment.
Yeah. There might be some kind of truth to the joke about, like, girls liking to play dress up. And girls sometimes, like, put more effort into dressing up and stuff. I don't know. I'm not really the biggest fan of jokes like that, even though I make them sometimes. I think even the best people sometimes make bad jokes. Okay. So, let me see here. Is there anything else that
I am pleased. Is it so?
Is there anything else that I need to talk to you
The
about?
beings?
No. Okay.
Farewell.
Okay, well, before I do this then... why don't we go ahead and read over these one last time. Fuck! I never gave Andre the large divine ember. Oh well. I really don't need to, because I'm not playing a faith character, so it doesn't matter as much. I think that's probably what I'll do next, is I kind of want to try making an int faith build, just to see if I can make that shit work. Go int and faith and attunement, and I would have to wear, like, really light armor. And I would probably go for... maybe a divine weapon, or a magic weapon. Oh well, that's neither here nor there. Okay, I guess we'll just do these in order. Lord Soul, Soul of Grave Lord Nito, first of the dead. This Lord Soul was discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Grave Lord Nito administers the death of all manner of beings. The power of this soul is so great that it satiates the Lord Vessel, despite the fact that much of its energy has been offered to death. Okay. Soul of the Bed of Chaos and Mother of all demons. This Lord Soul was found at the dawn of Age of Fire. The witch Izalith attempted to duplicate the first flame from a soul, but instead created a distorted being of chaos and fire. Its power formed a bed of life, which would become the source of all demons, and is more than enough to satiate the Lord Vessel. So it's kind of implied that the Witch of Izalith kind of worked and became the Bed of Chaos, and out of the Bed of Chaos, all demons were born. And so this is kind of the weird thing about, like, the timeline of Lordran and, like, what all the gods got up to, because you have at the beginning of the Age of Fire, you have the war against the dragons to wipe them out and use their, I don't know, use their power to create Lordran above the Grey Realm. And then you had the war against the demons, in which it is implied that a lot of the Silver Knights became Black Knights as their armor was scorched. And it really didn't go very well. And then you have the first undead outbreak in Ulasil, the first really big one. Well, no, not the first undead outbreak. There was an earlier undead outbreak at some point, I don't remember when. But then you had, like, one of the big events along the timeline was the Abyss outbreak in Ulasil. And I've kind of talked about it before, but one of the disappointing things in retrospect about Ulasil is, and to much of an extent of the DLC in general, is how it is basically just proto-Bloodborne. Because there's a humongous focus on things having a bunch of eyes, and body horror, and enemies being bestial, and fast, and aggressive, and that's kind of all it really boils down to. And that's Bloodborne to a T. And the fact that even as early as Dark Souls 1, we started showing signs of everything just moving towards just being Bloodborne, is really kind of disappointing in hindsight for me. Because I don't like that Dark Souls 3 is just Bloodborne with Dark Souls assets. And don't tell me it's not, because the gameplay is Bloodborne to a T, and not only that, but the story is also Bloodborne to a T, because there's a lot more emphasis on stuff like body horror, and dark secrets being kept from the rest of society, which is, again, Bloodborne. But I digress. The point is that this kind of brings up the point, this item description brings up the point that the timeline of Lord Ren is a bit complicated. But let's move along. Bequeath Lord Soul Shard. Soul of the four kings who fell to dark. A fragment of the Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Lord Gwyn recognized the foresight of these great leaders in New Londo and granted them their ranks and the fragments of a great soul. of a great soul. It's kind of implied that it was his soul, basically. It's kind of implied that any bequeathed souls you find are bits and pieces of Gwyn's soul that he handed out to people who he felt were important. Although the soul is not a full Lord soul, it can still satiate the Lord vessel. Okay, and lastly we have Bequeathed Lord Soul Shard. Soul of Albino Seath the Scaleless, a fragment of the Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of Age of Fire. Seath allied with Lord Gwyn and turned upon the dragons, and for this he was awarded dukedom, embraced by the royalty, and given a fragment of a great soul. Although just a piece, it will still satiate the Lord Vessel. So that's kind of another thing too, is that it's more playing up of Gwyn, because if these are bits and pieces of Gwyn's soul, these bequeathed souls, but they're still strong enough to power the Lord Vessel, then Gwyn's soul is mightily strong. And that's going to be important to remember for just a second. Man, I love those gaudy bangles. This cutscene is awesome. Look at it. It loves it. Alright, Frompt, you got anything else to say about this? And I kind of talked about this very briefly before, but what's kind of peculiar is, like, that's kind of what the Lord's Vessel looks like, right? Okay. The fuck are those? They look like bowls. Let's see here. There's 5 on the bottom, there's 4 on the top, and, oh, looky there. That looks like a bigger Lord Vessel, almost. It looks like another Lord Vessel, almost. But, that means there's 10 altogether that... So if you count the 9 at the bottom, although at the same time they do kind of look like those torches there. They look like very similar models. So maybe they're just torches over there. And it's just very confusing about, like, what this place is. If I had to surmise a guess, I would say that this must be some piece of Izalith that is buried far underneath the demon ruins. Because, very much similar to Izalith, you have these roots and tree branches that are growing everywhere, and the stone structuring and the styling of it all is very similar. So that's my guess. That's my guess, and I'm sticking to it. There's also the staircase, which has been broken at some point. Gives me like a good... I don't think it's possible to get over there unless you cheat. But now I can see these cups a little bit better. But again, like if that's the Lord Vessel over there, then, again, you know, what the heck is that thing? Because it looks just like the Lord Vessel, almost. So it kind of begs the question, are there multiple Lord Vessels? And according to Dark Souls 3, the answer is yes, there are multiple Lord Vessels, apparently. I don't really consider Dark Souls 3 canon as far as I'm concerned, though, so fuck it.
Ah. Oh. The Lord Vessel is satiated. Magnificent. You are the righteous successor to Gwyn, the new great lord, and I am King-Seeker no more. Your acquaintance was an honor. I must admit, I am fond of you humans. May you enjoy serendipity, and may the Age of Fire perpetuate.
Anything else to say?
I am pleased to visit
No?
the beings who possess...
No, nothing else to say. Okay.
Farewell, chosen undead. I remain here and await thee.
Alright, cool. So now, instead of a fog wall, you have a fog hallway. And this is one of my favorite sections in the entire game. Ow, my fucking eyeballs. But mostly because, as you can see, that guy. What are these things? Are they enemies? No, you cannot lock onto them. They are just ghosts. But as you can see, they are ghosts of what appear to be Black Knights. Which, again, the Black Knights at some point were all Silver Knights. And I'm actually going to turn the music up real quick so you can hear it. It's eerie and heavenly at the same time. Which kind of describes this very much, I feel. It's eerie and heavenly at the same time. It's a hallway of pure white energy. Now what exactly this is and how it fits into the world of Dark Souls 1, I'm not really sure. But with these, it kind of feels like this sort of transition. These feel like, I said, like the ghosts of long-dead Silver and Black Knights who followed Gwyn into their demise. And so this, to me, feels almost kind of like a bridge between the world of living things and a world of dead things. Quite possibly. You know, it's possible that maybe that's what they were going for, but it's hard to say. It's very open-ended as to how you could interpret this hallway of ghost knights. Which you can't fight, by the way. It's a quiet and introspective moment, of which Dark Souls 1 actually has a couple. And as the games have gone on, have felt less and less like something that they should have, in place of fast aggression and gigantic wow, isn't this so cool moments. So here we are. This is the kiln of the first flame. Now it is a kiln is for all intents and purposes an oven. Yes. But what's so weird about this particular area is the implication of the design of the area. Yes? Okay. So if you look at these things, these weird pillars, they look like they're melted, but they also look like they've been swooped by the wind in that direction. And off in the distance you can kind of see more, and they look like they're swooping that direction. So it kind of implies that this place was... And all of this is ash, by the way, which implies that this entire place was at one point a giant swirl of fire. And this is kind of it. The Kiln of the First Flame is more or less a metaphorical subzone that exists to house the fire that powers or fuels the world as we know it, Lordran. And it has dwindled so much that all of this, which, again, the design kind of implies was on fire, is no longer on fire, and all that remains is whatever fire is left inside that building, which is a humongous difference. And again, a lot of this is very metaphorical, and it's not always quite literal. Now, these enemies up ahead should look a little bit familiar. And I'm just going to make one quick change. Okay, and we're good. It's because they are Black Knights. So if you have any of their equipment that you want, now's the time. Because, guess what? These Black Knights respawn. Which means, oh hey, the shield. I wonder, is there any lore on this? Oh, I already had one. Well, I'll read it anyways. Shield of the Black Knights that wander Lordran, a flowing canal is chiseled deeply into its face. Long ago, the Black Knights faced the Chaos Demons, and were charred black, but their shields became highly resistant to fire. It's kind of interesting how these not strictly corporeal, people were able to evolve their equipment and change it depending upon the enemies they faced. But yes, all of these Black Knights do respawn. So if there's any of their equipment you want, now's the time to get it. Oh, what? How was that a backstab? Okay, video game, if you say so. You'll also notice... Oh, wow, the greatsword. I wonder. Do you have anything for me, greatsword? Please. Where is it? 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 Must be above. Okay, here we go. Black Knight greatsword. Greatsword. Oh, the Black Knights who wanted Lordran. The large motion that puts weight of the body into the attack reflects the great size of their adversaries long ago. Why don't I just go ahead and put this on my character real quick? Look how fucking big this thing is. And obviously I can't use it even if I use both hands. But you get the idea. Fuck, I didn't mean to do that. You might also notice, though, that these Black Knights are dropping the various types of Titanite that I mentioned earlier for upgrading the various types of weapons that you can create, which I also talked about earlier. So again, this is very much the design philosophy of now's your chance. Now is your chance. If you want to fully upgrade that shit, now's the time to do it, my friend. Oh wow, a bloodstain. Let's check it out. What happened? Did he fall off a ledge? I bet he fell off a ledge. Okay, he went to fight that guy and he fell off a ledge. Okay, so circle strafing around this guy for a backstab is not quite as effective, but I can do this instead. And that will kill him instantly, because I'm so good at the video game. Really? The shield again? Oh well. Speaking of, if you want any of their equipment, the Black Knight armor! And it looks really fucking cool. If I can find it. Fuck. Wrong. Okay. The Black Knight armor. Oh man, it's so cool. It's seriously so cool, man. Okay, let's see here. Armor of the Black Knights who haunt Lordran. The knights followed Lord Gwyn when he departed to link the fire, but they were burned to ashes in the newly kindled flame, wandering the world as disembodied spirits. So, all of the Black Knights you encounter in Lordran are implied to be disembodied spirits who... I wonder if I can put this on. Will that put me over the limit? It will not. But it's not fully upgraded, so it's not really going to do me a whole lot of good. But I wonder, will that look good? It doesn't look quite as good, so we'll stick with what we got. So yeah, but that's kind of an interesting little detail, that all the Black Knights in Lordran are disembodied spirits. And speaking of disembodied spirits, hey, that hallway from earlier. Which I mentioned earlier. Again, it feels very much like... I guess that's what that's supposed to be. I wonder if the helmet has anything different written on it, though, now that I think about it. Because sometimes helmets do have slightly different things, I think. No, it's all the same. That's fine. Okay, now, I will tell you. I did mention briefly earlier that I was able to summon Solaire in the last zone. Well, how do you do that? Well, if you're human, you can summon him around here, but only if you do certain things in a certain order. In order to get Solaire to survive the game, so that you can actually bring him into the final zone, you have to get access to the Daughters of Chaos as quick as possible, and then fully rank up in their deal, get the Lord Vessel so that you can go into the Demon Ruins, and then as soon as you get past the, as soon as you get to the spot where the Fire Sage Demon is, you go off to the right where the shortcut between the Demon Ruins and Lost Izalith is. And you open up the shortcut early by giving Quaylan? Was it Quaylan, I think? Quaylag is the one you fight. Quaylan is her sister, and Quaylana, I think, is the one you talk to get pyromancies. Man, the shield again. I was kind of hoping for the axe, just because it's so cool. But anyways, you go down that way, and you open that up, and there's a special sunlight maggot that has a glowing red set of eyes. The rest of them are only... the rest of them are not quite as noticeable as this one is. Okay. And he's out of there. So anyways, you kill that one, and we'll drop the Sunlight Maggot headpiece for you. And then eventually, when you unlock the event that gets Solaire to go there, which is normally where he gets taken over by the Sunlight Maggot, and thus you have to fight him and kill him. At least that's my interpretation, is that it takes over his mind, and he kind of loses sight of what's what. He will show up there and just be kind of a sad sack about it. But anyways, that way, his summon time will show up there, at the top of the staircase, and you can summon him, and even go into the final boss fight with him. Speaking of the final boss fight, let me just take a quick sip of my drink here. Let's go, son. It's Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. Ow. I fucking love that boss fight. So, you may have noticed there that he can be parried, and with a rapier, which has really high crit damage, kind of shortens that fight a little bit. Kind of cuts down, trims the fat a little bit there. Oh my fucking god, I forgot to take off the rusted iron ring. Holy shit, no wonder I didn't have that symbol for being protection. Oh well. Oh well, I didn't need it, as you can see. One thing that does make his boss fight a little bit tricky is that the hitbox on his sword is deceptively big, because as he swings it, fire kind of extends out from it. So his hitbox is actually a little bit bigger on the weapon. And, well, I mean, here we are. This is all that remains of the First Flame. And it's kind of implied that the First Flame, all that remains of it was him. Like, he was basically self-immolating to keep the First Flame going. And you can see how well that turned out for him. And this is like some kind of weird coliseum at the epicenter of the kiln of the First Flame. And there are these weird pillars here, kind of, I don't know, it's hard to say. And like, there's more of like, you see these swirly motions here to give you, again, the sense of like this gigantic fire tornado. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, yes. But yes. Another thing that I love about it is the music is very understated, instead of it being, like, really exciting, like, oh, you're fighting, like... No. The music is very understated. It's low, it's calm, it's kind of somber. And I love that about it. It sets this amazing tone for the boss fight that is Lord Gwyn. And that's kind of the big thing. Like, that's one of the things that makes Dark Souls so interesting, is that the game's narrative has spent the entirety of the game, playing up this guy, Lord Gwyn. Like, at the very beginning, way back when I did it, you might remember, the cutscene was like, man, check out Gwyn, he did all this shit, he created these lightning javelins, and he wiped out all the dragons with them, and it was badass. And he was a fucking hard ass, and he created Lordran and all this other stuff, and he's so magnanimous. And you get to Honor Londo, and there's all these statues of him. You go to all these places, and people talk about how great he was. May the flames guide thee. You know, people worked for him. And then you get to him at the end of the game, and you see what's become of him. And it's just so incredibly bittersweet. And you just don't see that in video games a lot. Because video games very much are all about, typically, all about making the player feel good. It's a power fantasy. Yeah, like, here's a big sword, here's a dodge button, jump around and kill things and feel good about it, you know? But Dark Souls kind of takes some of the magic out of the fantasy for you, and that's kind of what encompasses everything that's interesting about Dark Souls 1 to me, is that on the onset of it, it seems like this big fantasy adventure, and, you know, at the end of the day, it's not. It's really somber, it's really bittersweet. And you kind of have to take your joy where you can get it, and even some of that will be taken from you. Like, look at Solaire. Solaire and Sigmar are two sides of the same coin, where they kind of show everything that, again, makes Dark Souls interesting in the first place. It's the context of having these dopey, fun characters to hang out with, and at the end of the day, it's really depressing to see them go. Because, you know, that's just the emotional kind of narrative that Dark Souls 1 wanted to create, and I think it did a pretty good job of it. But anyways, let's read this description real quick. Soul of Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, and Cinder. Much more about Cinder now, huh? Who linked the first flame. Lord Gwyn bequeathed most of his power to the gods, and burned as cinder for the first flame. But even so, Lord Gwyn's soul is a powerful thing indeed. Okay, so real quick, again, I'm going to be a filthy fucking cheater. There are two things that you can make with his soul, and I'm going to read them off right quick as well. Okay. Let's see here. One of them... Let's see here. Come on. Okay, hang on. One of them is it an Ultra Great Sword or a Great Sword? I don't remember. Nope, it's a Great Sword. And then the other one, you turn it into the Sunlight Warrior Covenant, and you get a You get a miracle, which is Sunlight Spear. But let's see here. The Great Sword is the Great Lord Great Sword. Great Sword born of the soul of Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. As bearer of the ultimate soul, Gwyn wielded the bolts of the sun before linking the fire, divided that power amongst his children, and set off with only his great sword as his companion. Alright. And then, let's see here. Sunlight Spear. Miracle born of the fading soul of Gwyn. Hurl Sunlight Spear. In the war that marked the dawn of the Age of Fire, Gwyn wielded these rays of sunlight, which remains fierce even as they fade. Now, I've kind of talked about this before in smaller detail, but Dark Souls 1, and to a lesser extent Demon Souls, and to a lesser extent pretty much all of the Souls game, take a lot of inspiration from a manga called Berserk. And Berserk is kind of famous for having like this really strong, very fun first part known as the Golden Age arc. And that's the first like major arc that you get into is the Golden Age arc, and it's where a lot of like the characters are set up and everyone's having a good time, and it's high adventure. It's medieval fantasy adventure. It's fun. It's fun. And then dark fantasy sets in and all the bad shit goes down, and it's sad after that. It's really somber and bittersweet after that. And this, I feel, is one of the only cases where that inspiration, which again, oh, hang on, let me move that fucking mouse out of there. Sorry. Yeah, artsy. Berserk is very depressing. But again, in that inspiration that Dark Souls 1 takes from Berserk, I feel this is the one case where it does it really well and moves beyond simply referencing and being inspired by Berserk to actually elevating to its own thing with similar themes. And everything after this is much less true, in my opinion. But again, like with the opening and with a lot of the characters really embody the fun of the Golden Age arc. And you know, it's high fantasy. It's a fun medieval fantasy adventure. Get yourself a sword, go out and have fun. And then the second half of the game happens, and it's not as fun anymore, and it's dark. But okay. And I feel like, again, that is a regard that Dark Souls 1, in its inspiration that it takes from Berserk, is actually handled really well, and it helps it elevate the narrative of Dark Souls 1 into being something a bit more special. But okay, it's time for a roleplay moment. I know for a fact of the matter, if I go and touch that bonfire, that will end with my character burning up, much in the same way that Gwyn did. Basically, I can self-immolate to keep the Age of Fire going. But I'm thinking, Minuet here is thinking, that's the character's name, by the way, Minuet, in case you forgot, Minuet. Minuet here is thinking to herself, is that really something she wants to do? I mean, what good will come of that? She's already seen the darker sides of this world. She already knows that it's not really going to do a whole lot of good, and she has nothing left to keep going for. Or to keep the Age of Fire going for. Just so what? Just so the few remaining humans that have managed to keep their humanity and sanity can shut themselves away in cages to live on forever and never do anything ever again? Or the ones that are not holed up in cages to walk out into the world and die over and over again as they turn undead and become the same type of monsters they seem to be fighting? The fuck is the point of that anymore? So instead of that, not only that, but all of that was stuff that was told to her to do by a lot of the gods. And as she's seen and found out, the gods are full of shit. And not all that they claim to be, not who they claim to be. So she's going to turn away and not do that. And I'm going to give you the alternate ending.
My lord, bless thy safe return. Let Karth and Fraft serve your highness. We are here to serve your highness. Let true dark be cast upon the world. Our Lord returns.
Instead of a king, you shall have a dark queen. So I've decided that Minuet, instead, will lead the world into the first Dark Age, over which she shall preside as long as she can as queen. So that was Dark Souls 1. It's pretty fucking good. Now, of course, that decision is made a bit less meaningful with the onset of Dark Souls 2, which is like, someone comes along and relights the fire, so it's cyclical. The world that we live in is cyclical, right? And speaking of sequels to Dark Souls, can I just say, what an incredibly missed opportunity Dark Souls 2 and 3 are? Because the whole, like, you're playing through an end of Age of Fire thing again is so incredibly boring. Wouldn't it be so much more interesting to play through a Dark Age in Dark Souls? Like, imagine, I don't know, some castle somewhere in the real world where the last of the humans are holed up to retain their sanity and humanity, to stave off the darkness, and you journey out into the world of darkness to try and relight the fire, sacrificing yourself so that the world may see some light again. I don't know. I think that would be way more interesting than what Dark Souls 2 or 3 gave us. I love this theme song. The music in this game, too, is just, in general, really, really good. Now, unfortunately, and this is gonna sound kind of mean, well, yeah, they say the Age of Darkness is supposed to be the Age of Humanity, because the gods are no longer in charge. But at the same time, like, there's all this implication in the earlier games that, like, the Age of Darkness, like, there would be no sun, because the gods hold up the sun. So I don't know. I think that could be, like, a really interesting, moody world to play around in. And also, like, Dark Souls 1 especially has so much more world building to it than any of the other games. Except for maybe Dark Souls 2 really tries to have a lot of world building, but some of it is kind of meaningless. I don't want to say meaningless, but it's just, it doesn't have as much effort into it. But yeah, with Dark Souls 1, especially, like, with all the world building that it has set up, I feel like you could do so much with that. Like, you could have, I don't know, let me play as a Baldur Knight.
Yes, indeed.
In the Baldur Kingdom.
The dark sign
That could be
plans
cool.
the undead.
Like, imagine playing a prequel where you're marching out with the Baldur
And in
Knights
this
and the
land,
Knights Berenik to invade Lordran,
The
to
undead
take on
are
Sin's
corralled
fortress.
and led to the north.
Like, you already know how that ends up, but that could be interesting. What about
Where they
the
are
Eastern
locked
lands,
away
where Shiva comes
to
from?
await the end
What's
of
going
the
on
world.
there? How are samurai handling the undead problem? There's a lot of potential for this world, and I don't feel like either of the sequels really touch on it.
This is your fate.
That's the thing, though, is that humans do need the sun, because they need the sun in order to grow crops and live. But it's also implied at some point that the true state of humans is as hollows, which are undead and animalistic. And that's one of the underlying themes of Dark Souls 1 that I really fucking appreciate. That I feel like the other games don't really handle as well. And it's that, you see, as humans, we're scared of our baser nature. I kind of talked about this before, but we're scared of our baser nature as humans. And so, now I'm in New Game Plus, by the way. We can very briefly talk about this while I go through this. As humans, we're scared of our baser nature. We're scared of being this guy, who has lost all of his agency, who has lost all semblance of who he is as a person. It's all gone. It's all gone. He's no longer a human being. He's just some kind of vague animal. If I just... And like, look at him. He's a monster. He doesn't know how to do anything anymore. He's scared of me, too. Really? He has no attack animations. That's kind of surprising. You there. Attack me. Come on, do something. But all the rest of the hollows in the game, for all intents and purposes, are basically animals. They don't know how to do things. They don't know how to tell... They don't know... They've lost... They don't know how to use their tools properly anymore. They don't know how to differentiate people and things. They don't know how to talk anymore. People that have fully hollowed out... Creatures that have fully hollowed out. And so, like, they represent that sort of baser animal side, that sort of unconfident side of humans. And they, again, like, that's the reason they're the enemies, because... Oh, I can't do anything. I can't even level up. Oh, well. So, like I said, they kind of represent, well, you know what? I think I will change this out for this real quick. Like I said, they've lost all semblance of what makes them human, and as humans, we're scared of that, and we're scared of that baser nature. We're scared of that, and it's the same thing that's explored in the DLC zone. All the Ulasil citizens have become corrupted by the Abyss, and are for all intents and purposes, very beastly. Their bodies are gangly and monstrous and beastly, and they're animals. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to use tools anymore. And Dark Souls 1 has like this big underlying theme of fighting against that. You fight to maintain your humanity. You fight to maintain who you are as a person. All of it is in service to that. All the mechanics are in service to that, and they fit it. And that's why you play an int build. And again, that's one of the things that makes Dark Souls interesting, so much more interesting to me. But yeah. And it's themes that I don't feel are quite as prevalent in the other games. I think Dark Souls 2 does have some interesting themes, and it explores the curse in a different way that is also kind of interesting. But like, there are other parts of the narrative that aren't quite as strong for me, like the characters. And with Dark Souls 3, let's not get into it, because if I start talking about everything I don't like about Dark Souls 3, we're going to be here all day. At any rate, I think that that wonderful display about why you make an intelligence build is a pretty good place to stop. So, that's been the Dark Souls 1 LP. The full playthrough where I actually sit down and talk about the story and mechanics and things like that. Thank you for watching, and good night.